The Long Winter by Laura Ingalls Wilder. Chapter 15. No Trains. It was not worthwhile to get up in the morning. The daylight was dim, the windows were white, and so were the nails in the roof. Another blizzard was roaring, screaming, and swishing around the house. There would be no school. Laura lay sluggish and half awake. She would rather sleep than wake up to such a dreary day. But Ma called, "Good morning, girls, time to get up." Quickly, because of the cold, Laura put on her dress and her shoes and went downstairs. "Why, what is the trouble, Laura?" Ma asked, looking up from the stove. Laura almost wailed. "Oh, Ma, how can I ever teach school and help Mary to go to college? How can I ever amount to anything when I have to get only one day of school at a time?" "Now, Laura," Ma said kindly, "you must not be so easily discouraged. A few blizzards, more or less, can make no difference. We will hurry and get the work done, then you can study. There is enough figuring in your arithmetic to keep you busy for a good many days, and you can do as much as you want, nothing to keep you from learning." Laura asked, "Why is the table here in the kitchen?" The table left hardly room to move about. "Pa didn't build a fire in the heater this morning," Ma answered. They heard Pa stamping in the lean-to, and Laura opened the door for him. He looked somber. The little milk in the pail was frozen solid. "This is the worst yet, I do believe," Pa said, while he held his stiff hands over the stove. "I didn't start a fire in the heater, Caroline. Our coal is running low, and this storm will likely block the trains for some time." "I thought as much when I saw that you hadn't built the fire," Ma answered. "So I moved the table in here, and we'll keep the middle door shut, and the cook stove warms this room nicely." "I'll go over to Fuller's right after breakfast," Pa said. He ate quickly, and while he was putting on his wraps again, Ma went upstairs. She brought down her little red Moroccan pocketbook, with its shiny, smooth mother-of-pearl sides and the steel clasp. It's what she held Mary's college money in. Pa slowly put out his hand and took it. Then he cleared his throat and said, "Mary, it may be the town's running short of supplies. If the lumber yard and the stores are putting up prices too high." He did not go on, and Mary said, "Ma has my college money put away. You can spend that." "If I do have to, Mary, you can depend on me to pay it back," Pa had promised. After he had gone, Laura brought Mary's rocking chair from the cold front room and set it in the warm before the open oven. As soon as Mary sat in it, Grace climbed into her lap. "I'll be warm too," Grace said. "You're a big girl now and too heavy," Ma objected, but Mary said quietly, "Oh no, Grace, I love to hold you, even if you are a big 3-year-old girl." The room was so crowded that Laura could hardly wash the dishes without bumping into some of the sharp edges, while Ma was making the bed in the upstairs cold. Laura polished the stove and cleaned the lamp chimney. Then she unscrewed the brass chimney holder and filled the lamp carefully with kerosene. The last clear drop poured out from the spout of the kerosene can. "Oh, we didn't tell Pa to get kerosene," Laura exclaimed before she thought. "Don't we have kerosene?" Carrie gasped, turning around quickly from the cupboard where she was putting away the dishes. Her eyes were frightened. My goodness, yes, I'll fill the lamp brim full, Laura answered. Now I'll sweep the floor and you dust. All the work was done when Ma came downstairs. The wind was fairly rocking the house up there, she told them, shivering by the stove. How nicely you have done everything, Laura and Carrie, she smiled. Pa had not come back yet, but surely he could not be lost in the town. Laura brought her books and slate to the table, close to Mary in her rocking chair. The light was poor, but Ma did not light the lamp. Laura read the arithmetic problems one by one to Mary, and did them on the same slate while Mary solved them in her head. They worked each other's problem backwards to make sure that they had the correct answer. Slowly they worked lesson after lesson, as Ma had said. There were many, many more to come. At last they heard Pa come through the front room. His overcoat and cap were frozen white with snow, and he carried a snowy package. He thawed by the stove, and when he could speak, he said, I didn't use your college money, Mary. There's no coal in the lumber yard, he went on. People burn so much in this cold weather, and Eli didn't have much on hand. He's selling lumber to burn now, but we can't afford to burn lumber at $50. People are foolish to pay it, Ma said gently. Trains are bound to get through before long. There is no more kerosene in town, Pa said, and no meat. The stores are sold out of pretty nearly everything. I got 2 pounds of tea, Carolyn, before they ran out of that. So we'll have our bit of tea till the trains come through. There's nothing like a good cup of tea in the cold weather, said Ma. And the lamp is full. That's enough kerosene to last quite a while if we go to bed early to save coal. I'm so glad you thought to get the tea. We would miss that. Slowly, Pa grew warm, and without saying anything more, he sat down by the window to read the Chicago Ocean that had come in the mail last. By the way, he said, looking up, school is closed until coal comes. We can study by ourselves, Laura said stoutly. She and Mary muttered to each other over the arithmetic. Carrie studied the speller while Ma worked at her mending, and Pa silently read the paper. The blizzard grew worse. It was by far the most violent blizzard that they had ever heard. The room grew colder. There was no heat from the front room to help the cook stove. The cold had crept into the front room and was sneaking under the door. Beneath the lean-to door, it was crawling in too. Ma brought the braided rugs from the front room and laid them folded tightly against the bottom of the doors. At noon, Pa went to the stable. The stock did not need to be fed at noon, but he went to see that the horses and cows and big calf were still safely sheltered. He went out again in mid-afternoon. Animals need a lot of feed to keep them warm in such cold, he explained to Ma. The blizzard is worse than it was, and I had to harness Tussle this morning to get hay into the stable in this wind. I couldn't do it if the haystack wasn't right at the door. Another good thing, the snowdrifts are gone. They've been scurried away down to the bare ground. The storm howled even louder when he went out. The blast of cold came through the lean-to. Ma had pushed the folded rug against the inner door as soon as Pa shut it. Mary was braiding a new rug. She had cut worn-out woolen clothes in strips, and Ma had put each color in a separate box. Mary kept the boxes in order and remembered where each color was. She was braiding the rag strips together in long braids that coiled down in a pile beside her chair. When she came to the end of a strip, she chose the color she wanted and sewed it on. Now and then she felt the growing pile. I do believe I nearly have enough, she said. I'll be ready for you to sew the new rug tomorrow, Laura. I wanted to finish this lace first, Laura objected. And those storms keep making it so dark I can barely see to count the stitches. The dark doesn't bother me, Mary answered cheerfully. I can see with my fingers. Laura was ashamed of being impatient. I'll sew your rug whenever you're ready, she said willingly. Paul was gone a long time. Ma set the supper back to keep warm. She did not light the lamp, and they all sat thinking that the clothesline would guide Pa back through the blinding blizzard. Come on, girls, Ma said, rousing herself. Mary, you can start. We'll sing away the time until Pa comes. So they sang together in the dark until Pa came. There was lamplight at supper, but Ma and Laura had to leave the dishes unwashed. They must all go to bed quickly to save the kerosene and the coal. Only Pa and Ma got up the next morning at chore time. You girls stay in bed and keep warm as long as you like, Ma said, and Laura did not get up until 9 o'clock. The cold was pressing on the house and seeping in, raising higher and higher. The noises and the dark dusk seemed to hold time still. Laura and Mary and Carrie studied their lessons. Laura sewed the rag braid into a round rug and laid it heavily over Mary's lap so that she could see it with her fingers. The rug made this day different from the day before, but Laura felt that it was the same day over again. When they sang again in the dark until Pa came and ate the same supper of potatoes and bread with dried applesauce and tea, left the dishes unwashed, and went to bed at once to save kerosene and coal. Another day was the same. The blizzard winds did not stop roaring and shrieking. The snow did not stop swirling, and the noise and the dark and the cold would never end. Suddenly, they ended. The blizzard winds stopped. It was late in the third afternoon. Laura blew and scraped the frost from the window pane till through the peephole she could see the snow scurrying down Main Street low to the ground before the straight wind. A reddish light shone on the blowing snow from the setting sun. The sky was clear and cold. Then the rosy light faded, and the snow was growing gray and white, and a steady wind blew harder. Pa came in from doing the chores. Tomorrow I must haul some hay, he said, but now I'm going across to Fuller's to find out if anybody but us is alive in this whole town. Here for 3 whole days, and we haven't been able to see a light, nor smoke, nor any sign of a living soul. What's the good of living in town if a fellow can't get any good out of it? Supper's almost ready, Charles, Ma said. I'll be back in a jiffy, Pa told her. He came back in a few minutes, asking, Supper ready? Ma was dishing it up, and Laura setting the table and the chairs. Everything all right in town, Pa said, and the word from the depot is that they'll start work tomorrow. How long will it take to get the train through, Ma asked. Can't tell, Pa replied. That one clear day we had, they cleared it all the way out, ready to come through the next day, but they shoveled the snow up both sides of the cut, and now it's packed full, clear to the top of the banks. Something like 30 feet deep of snow, frozen solid. They've got to dig it out now. That won't take very long in pleasant weather, Ma said. Surely we're bound to have that. We've already had more and worse storms than we've had all last winter.